Digimon The Movies Collection is a masterpiece and a miracle. This new Digimon release might be the best thing the franchise has given us in years. So I'm not going to dance around it or save my verdict for the end of the video. Digimon The Movies is an S-tier collection and a licensing miracle. It is now the best thing in my Digimon media collection. Digimon The Movies is so impossibly good that it feels like it should not exist. I can't even fathom the amount of legal checks and sign-offs that had to have occurred between getting the footage from Toei, securing the 2000s Fox Kids cut of the 3 movies, managing to keep the licensed soundtrack, and reuniting the cast 25 years later. It's unbelievable to me. To clarify up front, I am not sponsored. It's going to maybe sound like I am because of how much praise I have for this collection, but it's all organic. My enthusiasm is a genuine response to the quality of this collection. I bought it with my own money, and it was worth what I considered an incredibly reasonable MSRP. Zero regrets on my end. So the contents Discotek has presented in the collection is masterful. You have the 3 movies in Japanese in stunning high definition. The movies look so good that they're almost too good looking in some shots. For instance, early in our war game, you see a plane and its vapor trails travel across a blue sky. On this Blu-ray edition, you can see the blue paper seemingly being moved across the screen to simulate the plane moving. It was always there, we just couldn't notice it in VHS and DVD quality. The nostalgic English language Fox Kids film is here in all its pop-punk glory, with its script that delivers both proto-abridged series humor coupled with genuine heart. And for the first time ever, brand new English dubs were recorded for the 3 films, Adventure, Our War Game, and Hurricane Touchdown. You have the vast majority of the actors reprising their roles nearly 25 years later, with new actors stepping in only in instances where the originals passed away. You also get a look at the Japanese trailers for these films, which to me do a great job of contextualizing the origins of these movies. To many of us, they were the Digimon movie, but to the Japanese market, they were contributions to 3 separate Toei spring and summer animation fairs. There's this fascinating interview with the young Mamoru Hosoda just before the Japanese release of Our War Game, where you can see his genuine passion about the project. There's this gallery mode that shows you legitimately cool behind-the-scenes production art, character reference sheets for all 3 movies, some stuff that didn't make it in or evolved during the production. Finally, there's a hilarious 2024 blooper reel for the new dubs, which does my favorite thing with anime bloopers, where it doesn't show you the actors in the booth slipping up. It shows footage from the anime, so it's not Brian Donovan tripping on his words, it's Davis. Or it's not Mona Marshall joking about punching Kokomon in the stomach, it's Terriermon threatening violence. It's super funny stuff. Now, I want to run you through some observations of the new dubs. Not criticisms per se, but things I found either interesting, funny, commendable, or otherwise worth sharing. But real quick, if you're still watching, you probably enjoy my takes on 2000s era anime, and so you might like my original novel, Monster Revolution. It's over 200 pages of monster taming adventures inspired by anime like Digimon, Monster Rancher, Metabots, etc. It's on Kindle and Kobo. You can get it digital for $10 or $20 for the physical paperback edition. A ton of great reviews so far, and it really is my love letter to this genre that we grew up with. I'll put links to where you can read the first 20 pages and pick it up if you're interested. So you already know I'm in love with this collection. Spoilers, it's a 10 out of 10 for me, but I want to share some more points and observations. You'll also see that the small amount of nitpicks I found each have counterpoints that the collection addresses. So let's start with our returning English cast. Joshua Seth is back as Tai after Zeno Robinson took a turn at voicing the character in the English dub of Digimon Adventure 2020. I thought Seth kicked butt as Tai during the Try and Kizuna productions, voicing a slightly older Tai, but when it was announced he'd return for the new dubs, I'll admit I was a little worried. He's of course older now and being asked to voice the youngest version of Tai there is, but I'm happy to admit I was wrong. Seth crushed it for the most part, particularly in Our War Game. Some lines sound a little off. I will say Seth's little Tai during the adventure short film is the weakest part, but it's almost an impossible task and an unfair expectation to ask a male in their 50s to voice a little kid. I think maybe it could have been neat if they had Zeno Robinson play the little Tai in this new dub of the short film, then switch to Joshua Seth for middle school Tai in Our War Game. In an alternate reality, that could have been cool, but I'm fully aware some fans would object, arguing Robinson was not a part of the original production, and that if Seth is willing to do it, he should play all versions of Tai. And I get it, but again, besides a few funky line deliveries in the new dub of the short film, I was incredibly impressed with Seth's Tai. Mona Marshall also nails it as Izzy in Our War Game and Terriermon in Hurricane Touchdown. We're so lucky to have Seth and Marshall back as Tai and Izzy for Our War Game. Laura Jill Miller, who voices Kari, sounds perfect. It's like they didn't redub her, but of course they did. She did not return for Try, Kizuna, or The Beginning, and I truly have no idea how they got her back for this one, but I'm so grateful that Discotek pulled it off, and I'd love to one day hear the story story of how they got so many actors back in the booth. Colleen O'Shaughnessy returns as Sora. She's only become more prolific in the recent years as the voice of Tails in both the Sonic games and Hollywood movies. She sounds good, but I will say I feel like she's doing more of a cartoon character voice, whereas her take on Sora 25 years ago sounded more real to me. I hope that makes sense, but she still nails the line, "stupid tie," which is what matters the most. Brian Donovan back as Davis is so special to me as a big Zero 2 fan. Donovan's absence in Last Evolution Kizuna was unfortunate, but it's been a joy hearing him again in Zero 2 the beginning and now this. All of the newcomers sound great. Eli Farmer does an excellent Joe and makes me wish that character had a larger part to play in these films so we could hear more of Farmer in the role. He nails Joe's panicked, "It can't end like this." Elsie Lovelock is great as Mimi, doing a hilarious voiceover read of Mimi's postcard to Ty. She's also Matt and TK's grandma, which is still funny and sounds just like the original. Bryce Papenbrook has a small role as the Red Greymon, taking over for his father Bob, who had passed away in the mid-2000s. Bryce followed in his father's footsteps by becoming a voice actor and had stated that he wanted to be the one to take over his dad's role in this new dub. It's touching that he was given the opportunity to pick up one of his father's old characters, and he sounds great. Moving on to some other observations, many of the best lines and jokes from the Fox Kids dub are still present in the new dubs. Although the new scripts are more faithful interpretations of the Japanese scripts, they found ways to reintegrate the more iconic lines from the Jeff Nimoy screenplay. Ty's mom still jokes about her sister calling too much, Matt's grandma still thinks Ty is selling ties, you better believe we get, "Did you see that? No, I was sleeping, but you are driving." It's just the best. The next point might sound somewhat obvious, but I need to emphasize that if you're someone who has only seen Digimon the movie and not the 3 original films, with these new dubs you are essentially unlocking bonus scenes for 25-year-old films. Our War Game, for instance, has a great opening shot that was cut from the Fox Kids version. There is a new Ferris wheel gag, quote-unquote new. There's more TK and Matt in the countryside as they visit multiple shops looking for a computer with an internet connection. It's not just them going straight to the barbershop. Hurricane Touchdown, the third part of Digimon the movie, which had the most cut, has a ton of shots and scenes you never saw if you only ever watched that English movie. One more thing for folks who have only seen Digimon the movie, the original credits for Our War Game basically present an epilogue for the story. Naturally, the original credits to Our War Game were removed from Digimon the movie so that we could transition into the Willis story, but the new dub and the original Japanese dub have credits that feature character check-ins shortly after the climax. They're screenshots only, granted, but Sora replies to Ty's email, Matt gets a haircut from that barber, we see Joe after the exam conclusion. Admittedly, these are very minor check-ins, but for people who have been thinking about these films for a quarter of a century, Digimon the Movies unlocks never before seen supplemental content for that English-only part of the fandom. Anything I can think of that could be considered a criticism or an issue is really a non-issue. For example, the Pink Power Ranger joke was removed from the new dub. I liked that joke, but guess what? The original Fox Kids film is still in this collection, so I can go and watch that version and still get that joke if I want to hear it. The lack of ska music in the new dub of Our War Game makes me a little sad, but 1, they instead used the music from the original Japanese films, which makes a ton of sense, and 2, if I really want to hear the ska, that 2000s American dub is on the disc. Wrapping up here, I've chosen not to give extended reviews of the 3 new dubs in this video because if I did that, I would be yapping for hours. Instead, I plan to do individual reviews of the new dubs for Adventure, Our War Game, and Hurricane Touchdown as breakout videos over the next few weeks and months. In those videos, I'll talk the new dubs, cover differences and comparisons to both Digimon the movie and the Japanese language versions of the films, so subscribe if you're interested in those reviews. But for now, my conclusions on Digimon the Movies Collection, the package. This is a beautiful international collaboration. This is a success across time, continents, language, and generations, with fans who grew up on Digimon being directly responsible for this collection. Whether that's the Discotheque production team or actors like Bryce Papenbrook, whose parent worked on the first version, I still don't know how this thing exists. I've done a little bit of licensing work in my career job outside of YouTube, and it is not easy, but I'm so grateful that this collection is here. Important to note, this was Discotheque's project, not Toei's or Bandai's, and they deserve their flowers. Bravo Discotheque, hats off, standing ovation to the team. If for whatever reason you were on the fence about this collection, you've heard my thoughts. I was so impressed with this release, and I imagine any fan of Digimon's films will not be disappointed. Thanks for watching and listening. Let me know what you thought of the collection and what you thought about the new dubs. What was your favorite joke from the 2000s version of Digimon the movie? As a reminder, I'll also link to my book in the pinned comment and description. You can read the first 20 pages free and pick up a digital copy or physical copy if you're interested. Take care everyone, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.